Make sure we good. All right, so first and foremost, I want to start off by saying Barakathon, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole flesh. Started with the 144,000. So, Lord willing, right? I started taking these walks. I see flashing like the elders, like Elder Pastor Rumla. He been doing it a lot lately. Elder Pastor Gabar. He should do it. He do it a good bit as well. Take walks and do the lesson. They call it like walking talks. Lord willing, for the past few lessons I've been doing, I've been trying to, as it's been, be kind of better weather. It ain't just cold outside anymore. So, I try to get out here and walk, and let the spirit flow, right? So yesterday, as I was watching Elder Pastor Rumla lesson, right, and I think it was titled real fast. Let me see, on my YouTube. Excuse the notifications, right? Right here, right? It says the stage is set for Jacob's trouble. I think it says it, right. And then Elder Pastor Rumla did like Elder Pastor Gabar did a kind of like a response lesson on it, right? And within that, right, I was studying this morning early. I was watching a good bit of both of them again, right, and the spirit came upon me, and I wanted to go into I had a title kind of just left my mind just now, kind of going into how Elder Pastor Gabar is going into it, the elect, the how can I put it, the elect ain't gonna bow down to that image, right? The elect, because I had a few precepts in mind as I was thinking about it, but the elect ain't gonna give in to that beast, man, to that beast system, right? And and it goes into a lot because a lot of and the elders done miss this a lot, right? A lot of people come in the truth and not solely knowing what they're getting themselves into, man, right? They come in the truth thinking shit gonna be holly jolly, shit gonna be perfect, right? But when you understand it, right, this ain't our kingdom, this ain't our homeland, right? This is we're still in captivity down here, we still we in bondage, we living out the curses as well, right? So things ain't gonna be just happy holly jolly while we down here. And people getting the truth, they thinking their life finna change for the better, which it do, right? Spiritually, right? Understanding, the getting to the kingdom, things of that nature, having this truth. Because this truth is better than fine gold, right? But people don't understand, right? It's just like with everything you do in this world, whether you're a basketball player, football player, whether you are, right, whatever you do, man, right? You have to put in work, right? And Elder Pastor Gabar, he mentioned that a good bit, right? He said, we pray we have that hope for elect, because we doing those works, man. We doing the things that elect do, right? That's why Book of James, it says, right, there's no faith without works, because faith without works is dead, right? I'll show my faith through my works. So we getting out here, we doing the righteous thing, right? Through Elder Pastor Tar, Elder Pastor Gabar, Elder Pastor Rumla, all the elders and GMS, the brothers, through the spirit of power, how about Yahweh Shah, right, with the 100% truth, right? Doing the righteous works. And that's what we set to do, man. Right? That's what the elect gonna do. And one of the things they ain't gonna do is bow down to those images, man. Bow down to those wicked ways of this nation, of this world, right? Because you got a lot of people who caught up in it, man. You got a lot of people who caught up in it, who lost, right? So, excuse me for that. I'm gonna allow this brother, bear with me. Let me see. I know it's in Revelations. Right? Because, when you first come to truth, you're like into a baby, right? Since I ain't that sense of milk, right? But also, another parable you have, you have what I use, right? And I'm gonna go to it real fast so I even read that. Revelation 19:7. And the reason it says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, Yahweh Shah, right? For the marriage of the Lamb, Yahweh Shah, is come. And his wife had made herself ready. His wife is the elect, man, right? They make herself ready, And just like, Brother Hadabiar, right? Who was talking about this at camp one day, right? He was talking about, if you're in a marriage, right? In the marriage sense, right? You got to be, and also go into that vow as well, right? You make them vows, right? you gonna be loyal. You gonna be loyal, and you gonna stick with that one person, right? And that's what you got. That's how this is in the truth. That's how the elect gonna be in this truth, man. Right? That's how the elect gonna be in this truth. The elect ain't gonna be laying down with these other doctrines and these other philosophies of this world. They're gonna be like a conversion, man. Right? We laying down. We waiting on Yahweh Shah to come. Right? We waiting on the righteous to come into effect, because we know the wicked is out here. The wicked rule. Right? Revelation 14:4. Right? And as it reads, it says, right, and I'm gonna get ready to turn around. A lot of traffic up this way. But we'll keep walking on up a little bit. Right? It says Revelation 14:4. Right? It says, these are they which were not defiled with the woman. Who's the woman? Right? America, Babylon, this beast system, man. Right? This revives on the empire. Right? It says, for they are virgins. They are virgins, man. We ain't been defiled with them. We ain't laying down with all these different doctrines and all these wicked ways. Right? We virgins, man. That's the elect. That's them virgins. Right? The ones who been sincere to that marriage, man. Right? It says, these are they which follow the Lamb wherever he goeth. Who's that Lamb? The Lamb of power, right? Yahweh Shah. Right? Why they call him the Lamb? Right? Because why? Back then we used to sacrifice sheep, lamb, goat, things of that nature, right? But he was the ultimate sacrifice. That last sacrifice that we needed to bring us back into the fold, man. That's why we not judged by our works no more. We judged by faith and grace. But faith without works is dead. Right? We're not judged by the law no more. Right? Because the law is perfect. We in these imperfect bodies, right? But through faith and grace, Yahweh Shah, we're saved, right? It says, these were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb, right? Being the first fruits, man. The first fruits. What is the first fruits? The elect. James chapter 1 mentioned as well, those first fruits, man. The elect, the ones who've been ordained in this truth. Right? And as you're going to see as time go on, as sifting goes out, man. As sifting goes out, you're going to see more and more of, the elect men shown. Because you're going to see men start to fall. You're going to see men start to slip. Right? You're going to see men start to slip. Right? The man falls 7 times. Right? But you're going to see the ones who don't get back up, man. The ones who, some might slip, some might fall. But the ones who stay down and stay defiled with the ways of this world, they give up, man. They give up. Because why? They ain't built for this. They ain't built for it, man. They ain't built for it at all. But the elect got on that armor of Yahweh Shah, right? That's what I was going to yesterday with Ephesians chapter 6, man. The elect is built for this thing, man. The elect is going to scribe all the way to the end what it says, right? He said, these are they which follow the Lamb wherever he goeth, right? And I was thinking about how I was going to go into the lesson, right? One of the main points you got to understand what hit me, right? Maybe we'll do this lesson is, Elder Apostle Ramla and Elder Apostle Kabar, right? And both their lessons, how they was talking about, right? Some of the elect gonna be, some of the elect might get killed, right? Some of the elect gonna get killed, not as if, right? They're part of 2/3, but it's just that why? It's just like Paul, right? How should I tell Peter, right? What happened to the apostles? What happened to the prophets before us, right? Or the prophets who turned apostles, right? Some of them was killed and persecuted, man. That's what's gonna happen in this truth. But you got to be able to follow the Lamb wherever he goes. A lot of people gonna be scared and gonna give up. A lot of people gonna give in, man, because they ain't built for it, right? They ain't ready for it, man. They ain't ready to really give it up. They're ready to sacrifice for this truth, right? Bear with me. Matthew 19:29, right? Excuse me real fast. I thought I had to sneeze, but Matthew 19:28, right? I started 28. It said, and Yahweh shall said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory, ye shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, right? It says, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, brethren, sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life, right? And the title of the lesson just came back to me, right? Are you ready to compromise for Yahweh Shah? Are you ready to give up these ways? Because the elect gonna do it, man. The elect gonna do it with no question, no ifs, ands, or buts. The elect ain't gonna play around with this thing, man. Because the elect know the, matter of fact, right? Good precept, right? Psalms 2 and 11, right? It says, serve the Lord Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling, right? Because why? You got to understand, man, right? You got to understand, right? Yahweh Shah right all this. And it's elect, notice, man. Right? But you have these ones who caught up in the ways of this world, right? Who be defiled by the ways of this world and start thinking that, Esau can cause more damage and cause more harm than what Yahweh Shah gonna do. Right? Because we know Yahweh Shah gonna destroy their ass as well. But you have these people so lost and so wicked, so bugged out that they fear Esau more than they fear, more than they fear Yahweh Shah. More than they fear Yahweh Shah. Right? What's that? Let me see. Find a precept real fast. Right? Because when you understand it, right? Yeah, Esau got the power. But what it says in Psalms, right? Psalm 17. Hide me from the people which are your sword. They're Yahweh using them, man. Yahweh Shah using them, right? They not out here doing this shit on their own. Everything they doing is what? Is of the Most High will, right? They don't evil in this movie, man. We the good in this movie, which is all gonna be revealed in the end, right? I should have really read that last precept, right? What he said, right? Last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Cause we're seeing last down here, we're seeing weak down here. But when the time comes, they're gonna be trying to find out what we are. They're gonna be trying to get near us, right? Let me see real fast. Bear with me. Bear with me. Right? Son, right there, coughing. But I'm looking for, okay, come on, right here. Ezekiel 21, right? It says, son of man, prophesy and say, this said the Lord Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened, also is furbished, right? It says, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, right? Watch this right here. What it says. The Lord is sharpening his sword, man. He finna bring that pain, right? But they thinking that they fear Esau, not knowing that what Psalm 17 tell you, right? Hide me from them which are your sword. They the sword, but the sword Yahweh shall come with. In Matthew, in the book of Matthew, right? What he said, right? I come with peace. I come with the sword. Right? He come with the sword because why? He finna bring destruction on them, right? And when you understand it, that's why the elect fear Yahweh Shah, right? Because it hit me in the spirit, right? Because when you understand it, what? Yahweh Shah, Adam, King Solomon, Isaac, the same spirit, right? But guess what? Right? These who kill with the sword must kill with the sword, right? So did Isaac not give Esau his sword as a birthright? So is Yahweh Shah not coming back, right? That same spirit. That's also when you go to Romans, we'll talk about Adam. Adam brought sin, right? That's that same one, right? From the brain righteousness, right? And that's Yahweh Shah. Just like Yahweh Shah gave, Isaac gave Esau that sword, which is the same spirit as Yahweh Shah, right? He finna come back and kill their ass with a sword, right? You gotta understand, man. That's why this in this book, man. That's why it says, right? Matthew 13. That's why it says, right? Matthew 13, right? It says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, they understand, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, right? No, Slack. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go up, Slack. I'm gonna go up at verse 10, right? Matthew 13:10. He said, and the disciples came and said unto him, why thou speakest unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, and to them it is not given. So it's given unto the elect to know these mysteries, man. Know these dark sayings, right? He says, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. Whatsoever have not, for him shall be taken away, even that he hath. Therefore I speak out them in parables, because they seeing not, and hearing they hear not, neither they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which is Isaiah, which says, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand. Right? What is that? Isaiah 29, right? He said, you get the book, right? You get the book, right? You get the book and you read it, and you read the book, but you don't understand it, right? It says, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall not perceive. For the people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears dull of hearing, and their eyes have they closed. The eyes have they closed, lest any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, should understand with their heart, and should be converted. I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Right? Because the Most High did what? Right? He put that sleep on them. Right? And we'll go to that real fast. Isaiah 29, right? I'll get verse 10 straight to the point, right? Isaiah 29:10 says, for the Lord Yahweh hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered, and the visions of all come unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. He said, I am not learned. Because they not giving the mysteries, man. They're not giving the clues to understanding of this knowledge, man. Right? They not giving that understanding to know this truth, right? Because they not out there elect, right? But that's why the elect not gonna bow down to that image, because we see these things, man. We, just like what it says, Genesis 3:5. We that proper ground, we seeing the evil. Wise as the serpent, but harmless as the dove. We seen the wicked way. That's why we not gonna fall for Satan devices. That's why that chip is nothing to us. We ready to lay down. We ready to do whatever. We ready to compromise whatever for this truth. We follow the Lamb wherever he goes, man. Right? Let me see. Revelation. So like a Romans, right? Romans 4, right? And it says, but what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed to the knee of the image of Baal. Even so then, at this time also there's a remnant according to the election of grace. And if by grace it is no more works, otherwise grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then it is no more work, no more grace, otherwise work is no more work. What then hath Israel have not attained which he seeketh for? But the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. The rest were blinded, man. Right? The rest were blinded, man. They can't see this truth. They can't understand it. But the elect understand this thing, and that's why the elect gonna go for whatever, right? You gonna have them people looking for you, or you gonna have them family members take this, take it. They gonna kill you. Let them, right? Let them. Because why, right? I'm gonna go to the precept. One of the first precepts that Elder Pastor Gabar had brought out, which kind of woke me up in the spirit to do this lesson, right? Revelation 20:4, right? It says, I saw the throne, and this is John the Baptist talking, right? Sitting on the island of Patmos, right? It's just a future prophecy, right? The future prophecy that's gonna happen, right? He says, because what it is, Revelation 34:16, these things shall surely come. These things shall surely come to pass, man. All these prophecies don't happen, man. Whether you ready for it or not, it's gonna happen, right? So it's better that you get yourself ready. That election getting itself ready through this knowledge, through the scriptures, put on that whole armor of Yahweh shot, right? It says, I saw the throne, and they sat upon them, and the judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh shot. They beheaded, man. Because why? The body is nothing. The body is nothing, man. You can do what you want with the body. We fear him we fear him who hurt the soul and body in hell. And that's who? Yahweh, man. He's the only one who can do that, man. We're not fearing what Esau them got planned. We're not fearing none of the devices they got set up, man. We see it, The Most High got our eye open to it. That's why we're preparing ourselves through these scriptures, right? That's why he said, do not think for in that time it shall be given unto you. In that time, the spirit of Habashim gonna lead us, man. Right? We got faith. That's what we doing our works. We striving. We pushing, right? We ready to compromise whatever for this truth, right? But it said I saw the souls, because the spirit gonna live, man. The spirit gonna live, right? The spirit can go up to Yahweh. They can have the body, man. They can do what they want with it, right? It says, were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads. Right? It says, or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Mashiach Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. Right? So we're not bound down to them, man. Those virgins, man, they're elect. We sincere to that marriage to Yahweh Shai. We not coming out this truth for nothing, man. We not falling for that weak shit. And that's that elect, man. That's that elect, right? Got another precept on the elect, one of my favorites, right? Isaiah 20. Or Isaiah 10 and 20, Shlaka. Isaiah 10 and 20, right? And it says, right, it shall come to pass in that day the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped the house of Jacob shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One, shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel in truth, right? Who smote us, right? Esau, Edom, right? The devil, man. They out here doing all these things. What do you say? They smote the people in they smoke the people in wrath with the continuous stroke, man. We're going to be delivered out of here, man. Because we're doing the works, we're doing these things how Bashan said us do. We got faith to understand that we're going to go through these tribulations. We're going to go through these things. We're soldiers for Yahweh Shah. Right? He said the remnant shall return, right? The same remnant we read about in Revelation 11, right? He said the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness, right? For the Lord Yahweh of hosts shall make consumption even determine in the midst of all the land, right? Because you got Israel deep, right? But you're gonna have more unrighteous than you're gonna have righteous, right? That's why 2/3 got to be cut off. 2/3 gonna be left therein, man, right? But that third part gonna be brought through the fire, man. Gonna be tried as gold is tried. We're gonna come out as gold, man, right? When you melt gold, what it come out as? Gold don't melt and turn to anything else. Gold melt and come out as gold, man, right? Because that's what it's gonna do, right? He said, then you shall know them are my people, right? Let's see. 2nd Ezra 16 and 73, right? He says, then they shall be known who are my chosen. They shall be tried as gold in the fire, right? It says, hear, O ye beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be not afraid neither doubt, for Yahweh is your guide, right? He gonna lead us. He gonna guide us, right? That's why we not scared to compromise, man. That's why we'll give all this up today. We're not worrying about nothing. We ain't falling for nothing. We ain't being tricked or being deceived by these devices or these ways of the world. The elect not falling for that, man. The elect gonna stay sincere to this truth. The elect gonna strive unto the end, man. The first fruits, right? That's another precept that come to mind, right? Quoted earlier, those first fruits, man. In the book of James, chapter 1, right? Verse 18, right? It says, of his own will beget he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of the first fruits of his creatures, the elect, the first fruits, man. The ones who ordained, the ones who not falling for these evil ways and evil works of this world, man. The ones who stand sincere to this thing, man. The ones who will give it all up no matter what. We follow the Lamb wherever he goes, man. That's gonna be the title of the lesson, right? The elect follow the Lamb wherever he goes, man. We lay down for this truth, right? Because we know in our reward gonna be in that day, right? Let's see, 1 Timothy 4, and the precept just come. I ain't really had nothing wrote down, just flowing through the spirit, right? Excuse me if I'm all over the place. What is that? 1 Timothy, let me see. Bear with me. Let me see. Nah, it might be 2 Timothy. Yeah, 2 Timothy 4, right? 2 Timothy 4 and 7, right? It says, I have fought a good fight, and I have finished my course, I have kept my faith, right? Because why, right? Matter of fact, I started verse 6 so you can understand it. But this Paul talking to Timothy, right? If you go back to verse 1, right, you see this is Paul writing his letter to Timothy, man. He telling him how to behave in the churches and how to, how to act in his ministry, how to act in his truth, man. But he tell him don't even argue people, don't even listen to all these conversations, these vain babblings about what is the truth. Stay sensitive to the truth and do the works, right? Because what he telling him, right? He said, I start at verse 6, right? He says, for I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. Meaning what? He finna die. He finna go home, right? Same thing Peter told him. Like, as long as I'm in this tabernacle, I'm ready to put off this tabernacle. Meaning what? As long as he in this body, he ready to put off this body, because the process force was killed for the truth, man. Right? They follow the Lamb wherever he goes, right? He said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept my faith. I got it right here in my notes, man. He fought a good fight. He did the works, right? It says, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not only me, but unto all them that love his appearing, right? So you go to 2nd Ezra 2, verse 40 going on down, that's when that righteous day, he's seeing it, right? He's seeing him give that crown. He's seeing, Yahweh shall put the crown on the heads of the ones who did the righteous work, because we consider our latter end. We ain't worried about what's going on down here, because we know ultimately this is a test, man. We know ultimately this how the Most High seeing who is his people. That we read. He said, "Then you should know who am I chosen." Because you got a lot of people who say they in this truth right now. You got a lot of people who say they ride for the truth. They in this truth. You got a lot of people who say they gonna what is that? Let me see. See if I can find this precept real fast. But you got a lot of them who say they gonna ride in this thing. But as soon as shit get hard, they gonna run, man. He said it'd be very few that find that narrow passage, man. It'd be very few that find it, right? Let me see. Right? Matthew 10, right? And I started at verse 16, right? It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, and be ye therefore wise as serpent, and harmless as dove." Like I was saying earlier, we gotta be wise as serpent, right? Because why? I'm saying the word wrong. Excuse me, I'm saying the word wrong. But as you read in Genesis 3, that serpent, right, which is Esau, right? Esau today, right? And that same spirit on them, right? They more subtle. They're more subtle. They're cunning, crafty, right? So we gotta be wise as serpent. That's part of being a proper God. We gotta know the ways of evil. We gotta know the ways of evil people. You know what I'm saying? To separate it, to get away from it. Because you got Jake lost up by it. They don't know they living in iniquity, right? But Yahweh did tell them, ain't no cloak for their sin. They just dumbfounded. They lost. They in that spirit of sleep, right? He said, "I send you forth as midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpent, and harmless as dove. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up into the councils. They will scourge you in the synagogue. Ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sakes, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought for how or what ye shall speak." That's the spirit I just quoted this earlier. Take no thought, man, because we understand that Yahweh gonna lead us, man. They gonna lead us. It's gonna come to pass. You got a lot of brothers who gonna go through a lot. The elect is gonna go through a lot in this truth. Some gonna be beheaded in these camps, these guillotines. Gonna be a lot in this truth. But right, we know it's all for the purpose of Yahweh. We follow the Lamb wherever he goeth. Right. Finish it off. Right. He said, when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Right? And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. You're gonna have a lot going on, man. You got these ones that's round, they swear they in the truth. As soon as shit get hard, as soon as shit defend, they out. But the ones, what he said, but he that endure to the end shall be saved, right? To finish it off right here, verse 23, but when they persecute you in this city, flee to another city. For verily I say unto you, you should not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. So we ain't going home till Yahweh shall come deliver us, man. Right? When that time comes, Yahweh's not going to deliver us. He's going to take us to the homeland. We're going to destroy this place. We're going to tear that shit down. We're going to build it up, man. We're going to build it up, right? And quick precept, I want to end off with real fast. This is definitely one of my favorites, right? Definitely one of my favorites, right? Daniel 2, right? Daniel 2 and verse 44, right? And it says, in the days of the king shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. That's the kingdom of Yahweh. And the kingdom shall not be left for no other people, because it's only for who? The Hebrew Israelite. And all the other nations will be brought in as our slaves. Will be brought in as our slaves and our servants, right? And it shall break in pieces and consume all the kingdoms, and it shall stand forever, man. It shall stand forever, right? So when you endure to the end, we got a way better far. What word I'm trying to use? We got a way more heavier glory set in front of us, man. Right? You gotta be ready to compromise, man. The elect gonna follow Yahweh wherever you go, right? That's the title of the lesson, man. The elect gonna follow the Lamb wherever he goeth, man. So with that being said, let's edify. And I want to give all and glory to Yahweh. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole flesh star with 144,000. Shalom.